My name is James, and I'm 8 years old, and I would like to know what your favorite ice cream flavor is. Mine's cookie dough.
I think butter pecan.
I'm Nora, and I'm 10 years old, and I want to know what your favorite holiday is.
Favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, because that when we lived in the house, that was the time the family would come. A lot of the family would come for that, and I got to make egg in the hole. and for everybody, and for a long time I would make fried chicken Thursday afternoon after Thanksgiving, and it was just a wonderful time of having all the family there.
Hi Gigi, it's Titus. I'm 15. My question for you is, what moment are you most proud of in your life?
I think the moment I loved the most was the day that Grandpa asked me to be his wife. And he's Grandpa to Daniel, but he's Papa to the great-grandchildren.
Hi, my name is Sephora. I'm 19. My question is, growing up as a woman, what your role in the church, is it different than in today's time? And did you feel more involved in the church when you were younger as a woman, or do you feel more involved now?
I see a change in some ways as a pastor's wife. Now, I don't see pastors' wives now doing a lot. They take a secular job. They don't even have to be there on Sunday if they don't want to. In our era, it would have been unforgivable almost for me not to be there. I always had a responsibility, seemed, so I had to be there. It was either teaching a Sunday school class, playing the piano, or organ, or whatever was needed. But yeah, I think it's really different now. I don't think the pastor's wife is required to do what it seemed to be the requirement in my day. But I'm not sure I like that. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. It is different now than it was then.
My name is Samuel Johnson. I'm 12 years old, and my question for you is, what was it like growing up in World War II?
I remember World War II. I had no relative in the war, but I remember going down to the bus depot when they would be taking men away. And the grief and the pain was, the tears were flowing from the women holding their hands through the window before the bus left, cherishing that last minute with their husband. It was something that I will never forget, seeing that and knowing that they may never come back. So that was the feel. And I was young. I was in high school then, so I don't remember a lot of things, but I do remember the rationing also of things. And I had a neighbor that he was in the military, so so many people were affected by that war. Hundreds, thousands killed, and it was a bad time for our country. But the men fought a good fight, did their best, and I don't remember. I just remember when it was over. I can remember that very vividly. Our neighbor had a little boy, a son, and when he heard that the war was over, he thought in his mind as a child that his dad was going to come home that day. And I remember his questions about that, and they had to tell him, no, Daddy can't come home yet. but cars were driving through town and honking their horns, celebrating, the war being over. And so I remember the beginning, and then I remember the end of it in those ways.
Hey Gigi, it's Cole. I'm 17, and my question is, what is the favorite place you've ever lived and why?
I would think Rockford was probably because we had lots of room yard-wise for the children to play, and Clinton, though, I will back up a little bit. Clinton probably was my favorite place to live because I had all of our children at home, all 4 of them. So that was wonderful. And then the next best would have been Rockford, where I could have the grandchildren there to do things with you and drive the truck and do things like that. So it was fun. It's always a good place when I can be around some of the family.
My name is Phyllis, and I'm 67 years old. And I'm curious about your fashion loves. Of all the eras you've lived through, of different fashions and styles, what was your favorite and why? And mine happens to be the 50s. I love and all the polka dots and stripes and all that. So I'm just curious what you liked.
I guess I always have liked fashion. Maybe that's where your mom gets it, even though she's more fashionable than I am now. But I don't know what era. That's a good question. I think probably in the late 50s was better. And because things changed in our denomination a little bit too on wearing certain things. It was frowned on for us to wear certain types of clothing, wear some kind of makeup and all. And so that began to change in the late 50s, I think, or late in the 60s especially. So, well, I guess though I will qualify that later on, I began to be more free in the fashion part, like wearing slacks and things like that, and that took place in the for me probably in the 70s, but I've always liked fashion. I've always been wanted to dress in the last fashion, up to date things.
I'm Mary Johnson, and I am 44. And Grandma, I am curious, as a mom of 4, I'm also a mom of 4, what was the most challenging thing about being a mom of 4, and then what was your favorite part about being a mom of 4?
I can't say it was hard, anything. It's hard when you think they're not doing what they should be doing. Well, like in school, if they don't buckle down and do what they're supposed to do, that's hard to have to reprimand them for that, or to try to encourage them to do better. But what was the next?
Your favorite thing about having 4 kids?
Oh, I wouldn't take anything for any of them. My greatest thing was seeing them grow up and be mature people and people of honesty and integrity. They're all 4 of them are people who obey the law and live a life as a parent should. They've been good parents. All 4 are wonderful parents, and I don't know what more you could ask. All 4 love God. That's the main thing, that all 4 love God, and they've been good parents. All 4 of them, I just admire them for their parenting. and it's evident in their children, that they've been good parents. So I guess that's what I'm most proud of, that they grew up to be good citizens, good parents, good people, honorable, people of their word. Okay, I'm done.
Chris Johnson, 45 years old, and I feel that we all need to know, who is your favorite grandson of the three boys?
Oh, I know who always says that I'm their favorite. They're my favorite, but I've told that one that they're going to get me in trouble if they say that out loud. So I can't say I have a favorite. I think you're all wonderful. I'm so proud of all of you. I know what the answer, what one would say the answer should be, but you're not going to get me to say it. Because you're all just wonderful adults, and their individual characteristics and their individual personalities, and some are in touch with me a little more than others, and so I'm going to drop it there. I'll let the smile say it all.
My name's Lindsay Johnson. I'm 39 years old. And Grandma Gigi, the question I would like to hear about from you is, if you had any advice that you could give to a fairly newlywed couple with a small baby, what advice would you give?
I would say try to get sleep when you can get it, but enjoy every minute of it. And I mean, even in the hard times of being up late at night, or if they're sick or whatever, enjoy every minute with that baby, because they grow so fast, and after they're grown you'll look back on it and have a lot of wonderful memories, so but I guess my advice would be sleep when the baby sleeps, if you can at all. That's a little hard to get to do sometimes, because you want to get your housework done while they're sleeping. But I would say let a few things go in the house, take a little rest when I didn't learn this lesson. I wish I had. So that's why I'm saying it now. Sleep when they sleep, and if you have to let the floor go and it's not mopped every day, don't worry about it. Have fun with that baby and enjoy every minute of it.
I'm Matthew Johnson. I'm 43. And Grandma, my question to you is, what are the 3 things that you're most proud of that you and Grandpa accomplished?
That's hard to narrow down, I guess. One thing I'm most proud of Grandpa was he was a student of the Word. I saw him study and read and pray during the day, and then we'd go back to the church at night and do that. So he was so committed to pastoring and studying the Word and living a man of integrity, as a man of integrity. So I think I'm most proud of his record. He was honored at district council for having been ordained for 50 years. And there was not a blight on his character, not a single negative that they could bring up against him. And so I think I'm proud that I was a part of his life. That he was my, in a way, role model of what it is to be humble and, serve the Lord with integrity.
I'm Lincoln Johnson. I'm 13 years old, and my question for you, Gigi, is what was it like on the day of 9/11? Where were you at, and how did you feel afterwards?
I don't know exactly where I was at. I lived at Muhammad, but I don't know where I was at when that happened. but it was a gut-wrenching feeling, to think that anyone could do something to that magnitude. Horrible to think of the plane being buried in the ground. I think that's the worst part. Well, not the worst part, but some of the worst. That a whole plane full of people were buried alive in the ground. And then those in the tower running for their lives, trying to get out, burning and all. It was just horrible. You can't describe. I don't think anybody can really describe how they felt that day. It was so bad.
Skip Lloyd, age 50. Mom, if you could go back to any age, what would it be and why? I'd go back to 50 years of age because I was still physically and mentally alert.
I don't know. I had a lot of fun as a teenager. I had a dear friend that we had been best friends when we were little girls, and then we moved. All of us moved, and I lost contact. And when we moved into town for me to go to high school, and lo and behold, she was in town, and was living in town too, and we reconnected, and we had a lot of fun together. We would go shopping. I had a car, so it was kind of a carefree time, where I didn't have any big responsibilities. I worked as a job, but on my day off, we could get in my car and go to another city to shop or whatever. And then, so we did all that, and then as time went on, her husband went into the military, and we moved. And then about 30 years after that, we reconnected again. And we would meet up at Cracker Barrel at one of the towns south of here and spend time together. So yeah, that was probably the best time, was between high school graduation and when I got married.
Daniel, age 46. Grandma, my question for you is simple. Growing up, what was your favorite song?
I think the one that is my favorite now probably is It Is Well With My Soul. I get very emotional when I sing that song. But one that I remember so vividly in my home church was Amazing Grace. The man that led our worship time it seemed that he sang that quite a bit. And it says so much about the grace of God. And it's been by the grace of God that I have lived as long as I have, and that I've gotten to be as active as I have been. So I think I would say Amazing Grace and It Is Well With My Soul. Amazing Grace would top the list, and then the other one would be my next. In a treetop, when the wind blows, the cradle will rock. Are you done Rocky Bye Baby? We can try a little horsey like Grandpa used to do. You remember that? You never got to do that with Grandpa. But we can do it. Trot a little horsey going to town. Get a sack of peaches. Yeah, you can sing with me. Watch out, horsey. I don't know the rest of it. Let's sing some more. Let's see. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Yes, loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. Gigi is squeaking. Oh, bye, bye, baby. Bye, bye, baby. Go to sleep, little one. Bye, bye, baby. Bye, bye, baby. Go to sleep and dream a lot. Oh, bye, bye, baby. Bye, bye. I wonder how long she would. She wouldn't go to sleep though, would she? Oh, let's see. Jesus loved the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, and I don't have the tune just right. Jesus loved the little children of the world. Oh, Jesus loved the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Oh, bye, bye, baby.